What is up, Fort Huachuca? Welcome back to Kicking It with Kuhling. I hope you enjoyed the last episode. How awesome was it to have Corporal Martinez on here talking about some of the young hua stuff, and that guy's got a bright future ahead of him. I've got another special guest in studio with me today, but before that, let's talk the ACFT. We have it. We know what it is. Now it's time to get after it. We know that 1 October, it becomes our program of record. And we know what events we're doing, and we know how it's scaled. You know, it was about a 10-year process to get the ACFT to us. I remember in 2018 when the Army said, hey, this is kind of what we think the ACFT is going to be. You have 2 years to get ready for it. About 75% of the Army ran towards the sound of gunfire, but there was 25% that kind of sat back and said, I don't think this thing's ever going to happen. I'm putting my feet in the sand. It worked out kind of okay for both parties this time, right? We know that it will be differentiated between genders and ages, and we know that we lost our favorite leg tuck. It's no longer part of the 6-event test. But that doesn't mean you can stop. You need to stop doing leg tucks. It's a good exercise. You know, when you see a pull-up bar, get up there and do it. There's been some other things in the past 2 years that same type of thing. 75% of the Army ran towards the sound of gunfire. 25% kind of sat back and waited. That outcome was a little bit different. And now I'd like to introduce to you Mrs. Erin Beam. She is the Chief of Education Services here at the Ed Center at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and she's going to talk to you about Army Ignited. Same kind of thing. We're in the same situation. 75% of the Army has ran towards the sound of gunfire, but we still got about 25% that are waiting to see how this shakes out. So, Mrs. Beam, please introduce yourself.
Good morning. I'm Erin Beam. I'm your Chief of Education Services at the Fort Huachuca Education Center. Army Ignited has been around for a year now. That means we've been without Go Army Ed, as some of you remember, for a year. And we have about a year to go until it's fully functional. But it is your education system of record, and we need every soldier assigned to Fort Huachuca to create an account. Do not worry if you have troubles with it, if you're intimidated by it. The education counselors are here Monday through Friday on a walk-in basis. We will sit you on one of our computers, walk you through the process, help you set everything up. You need to remember that this is your official Army education record. Your test scores, your tuition assistance dollars, credentialing assistance, successful pass rates, everything is held in this system. We need you to have it. Awesome.
Yeah, and you know, we talked a little bit earlier. Can you tell the audience kind of how the Army has, you know, the systems have migrated? You know, I'm old school. eArmyU, Go Army Ed. That's kind of how I did my collegiate career throughout my Army service. Can you tell some of the things that are same, some of the things that are different?
Sure. So with tuition assistance and credentialing assistance policies, there's a pot of $4,000 for you every fiscal year to use to further your education. That pot of money is sitting in Army Ignited, just like it did in Go Army Ed. Some of the differences, though, are in the old system, you would simply log in, sign up for classes, boom, TA was obligated. In the new system, there's a little bit more work. You're going to go to your college or university first and sign up for all the classes you would wish to take that semester, and the school will then put your schedule in the Army Ignited system. You are then responsible to go in and check a box for every class that you want TA dollars obligated for. This will help monitor your grades, keep track of your GPA, and you'll see a little toolbar, almost like the Domino's pizza bar, that says you've used 300 in credentialing, you've used 2,000 in TA, you have this much left for the fiscal year. It's almost user-friendly. So we advise you to start checking it out and become familiar with all the tools that it's going to have in it.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, and is it still the same as it was for me, or are the soldiers pretty much just paying for their books?
Some schools have scholarships that will cover books, but for the most part, tuition assistance covers just the tuition, and soldiers are responsible for any supplies and or books that are needed.
Okay.
We do advise that you come in and talk to a counselor because there may be scholarships grants, and different options to help cover those expenses as well.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience?
Keep in touch with your education center. If you can't come in person, give us a call, 533-3010. There are always changes, improvements, and policy updates on a monthly basis. As a matter of fact, this weekend there's a new policy coming out. Officers will no longer incur a service obligation if they want to use credentialing assistance to prepare for their transition to civilian life.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for making us all a little bit smarter on Army Ignited and the education services that we have provided to us here at Fort Huachuca. They're located right across from the
Theater, commissary, Barnes Field House. We are on that corner. It's hard to miss.
Excellent. Well, thanks. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please join us next week where I'll have another special guest in studio here with us. And until then, be safe.